no father, no vitamin deficiency, whatever. Vitamin, but no father deficiency. Better than social but of course, here's another one, the father wound. So it's like we're hit, we better make along, so you have no father. So I got caught that up. So no father deficiency. No no that no father wound. So guys, what they bring no data. But it gets even serious when you compare that with the whites. 87% they've got a father and a mother, compared to our 33%. That just throws the whole thing right into your face. I want to suggest, and I've said this to Abantu who matter, we need also more than home affairs in the true sense of the word, where we focus on family. You can't run a government and you have no one who's looking after families. We need to talk. The reason why moral regeneration is just an abstract concept is because it's not grounded in families. You've got to run it with families, because that's where you bring up. Kids are manufactured and brought up in a family. Or do you want to be a ballet? Do you want to be kai? If you have no department that runs that and supervises that and promotes that, your moral regeneration will just be a philosophy, academic. It will never take root. So we are thankful when we see our children. This is a good step. Listen, we're not saying what, but this is a good step when you see your child inviting a band. SMS, by the way, say name young going to husband. And that's it. You're not even invited. So the first time you just have to thank God. Because it shows something in terms of functionality of the family of Pumakuyu. As now Prince must chat, that alone says something. So that's why it's an honor to be in an occasion like this. And Kulele Cape Town, NY56, you can count in the last 50 years. You can count it one, pa, uti. Now, pa. But akuko mi chat. And once we corner this, then you know what is happening. We are very thankful, I must say. Right now, I just want to share. I know it's late at night, and I might just get excited, and the Amidora and the Kianga, so I won't. But what are the predictors of success in marriage? I'm looking at 40 Abantu who have been married for 40 and married for 50. Could ask an interview, do a research. What has kept it together? A lot of things. We are friends. That's a big one. We are friends. It's related to a friendship. You wonder why do any friends from high school kodwa wafumana umyeni later kodwa sedivorcele nomyeni but akadivorce friend yakhe. Which means benomyeni ongo your friend, because a friend is a call. If you can make your husband your friend or your wife your friend, that relationship lasts. Probably relationships are too legal, they're just legal. I call friendship. I was asked by one group to address them on laughter and marriage, the value and the role of laughter in marriage. And the point is, if there's no laughter in marriage, there's going to be divorce. You see, laughter keeps marriage together. Once next week. Actually, it has been proven. You can't laugh today, tomorrow, it doesn't work like that. Laughter in a home creates functional children. If a child passes the bedroom, mama, no dad, I got mama says, hi man, dada, hi man. Now, picture that child, 7-year-old, because that's a very critical age. I mean, that first 7. Look at that child at 7-year-old. Look at the face. When you picture face here, he's smiling. And that smile is the stability. There's permanence here. These guys are not going anywhere. No one laughs like that guy who played Luhamba Kusasa. But look at the effect of the laughter. Just the laughter. Tomorrow is writing an exam.
Wow.
10 out of 10.
Wow.
Amen.
20 out of 20. Just because of the laughter. He goes to school, he knows when I come back, my mom will be there and my father will be there. You know what kept us together, Sobunzim? Is to know that I'm going home and my mother is there and my father is there. Namhlanje abantwana bayawahleka abantu abazali. Wow, no tata lo. Hleka sijulisa. Tata lo. Asukahana uzohamba nowakho kodwa unewari ngoku abantu babo noma ngaba banotata ayenye ukuthi utata unotata kusibona bakhula kwindawo ngena abantu. Fast forward and look at what happens when a child passes the bedroom katata and umama uyakhala ndenzeni tata ndenzeni and the child passes alone. You know what's going to happen? Tomorrow is going to school. You know what's going to happen? Zero. And right now you have started breeding a murderer, a rapist, a criminal. Just that cry. The anger that boils within. And to know what I can't to know it temper. Naba bandits say up are planning to leave me. So let me leave them before my. Do you know what street kids are not necessarily coming from homes, are not necessarily coming from a vacuum. They're coming from homes like that. I think on the strat way. Because strato is. So what are the predictors of successful marriage? Food is in their voyeur. So I get a call from one couple I married about 3-4 years. Utimfundis, do you have time? Yeah. Well, I didn't, but yes. This thing's not working. I don't think we're going to make it. It's like, you can tell. They call it when it's over. They don't ever call it when that's it for this. That's it. You care to tell me, I know it's a long story, but why do you call me to give me that thing? Now the finance and the other separation and stuff like that. But nobody gets into a setup like that. I plan it. But what happens? Let me just share one thing. There may be many. I'll just share one thing and I'll link it with two points. So I won't waste time on it. One is that, and I know this is going to be controversial to some of us. When Paul talks to the Ephesians, not to the Ephesians, to the saints in Ephesus, that's very important. That is not Ephesians. The book is called Ephesians, but it's written to the saints in Ephesus. Not to the citizens of Ephesus, but to the saints in Ephesus. That introduction makes sense when you read the whole book. But then he says, wives, husbands, love your wives. Wow. That's it. That's where the whole thing lies. I can say without even saying what does that mean, because there was a time we wouldn't explain it, but we have to explain it today. That the majority of us from 10 years and up grow up in that understanding. There's a governance, a kaya. There's a micro government, a kaya. Today, for good reasons, and understandably so, with this whole thing where abuse and stuff like that. Oh, Mama, have found something saying, let's destroy this whole thing in submission, because with the whole thing in misogyny, the patriarchy. I mean, those are realisms. No patriarchy and stuff like that. So we're being suppressed. So feminism comes in as a hope and this thing that says, we're here to save you from this man. So there's war at home, and feminism, they've taken a side. So go and work, go and do this, develop yourself. No, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's good. Don't let this person, whatever. But what has happened is feminism hasn't been able to help the husband to love. It has helped the woman to live. But not the husband to love. There are two concepts there. It's submission and loving. So in fighting submission, we've also destroyed loving. I wish we had sat down together, recognize the problem, and then decide, how are we going to look at this? What's this thing about submission? Because there's love also. Now, okay, let me just cut it short. In other words, I wish as much as we were liberating and helping, but we also have, because there are two, there's submission, there's loving. And my understanding is, oh, by the way, even if, before I tell you my understanding, by the way, it is observed, it has been shown, I have seen it. Umfundus can attest this. When a couple comes to see you, then so you feel as if your husband does not love you. That's exactly from this. You feel like she doesn't treat you like a wife. Exactly from this. I don't care what the story is. That's where it ends for a woman. I'm not loved here. So give the guy a chance to speak. So you feel not respected yet. But exactly from this. Now, listen, it doesn't matter where it starts, where it ends, but it comes down to one thing. Let me give you in a nutshell. Or this happens, by the way. Umama ubethe utata ngepama. Nibukela TV mosabelungu ubethe ngepama. Uzoyenza pekhaya. Umama ubethe utata ngepama. Ushiywe ngumsindo. I like that. Ushiywe njani ngumsindo? I was asking a couple, "Ndambetha ngepama for this." Little why? I didn't show ngumsindo. Okay, fine, but mbona wakufuthi bathi ushiywe ngumsindo bethi mina ngempama. Okay, let's forget about that. All right. So utata obetha unkosikazi ngempama. Nomama obetha umyeni ngempama. Same event. But looked differently. Utata ndiyadelela, umama andithanda. Mpama inye. Bethi umama ngempama ndithandwa, bethi utata ngempama ndiyadelelwa. Of course, I'm sure kukhona abathi akandithandi, but there are very few. But usually the point is around respect. So I'm saying maybe we need to find time in our churches, in our organizations, in our associations, in our groups, to really unpack this whole thing, love and submission. Marriage was created by God. Take it to Him if you have issues.
Amen.
Don't go to sociologists.
Amen.
I mean, I don't mean that one, English and Xhosa, but really don't go. I'm not really looking down on sociology, but I'm just saying marriage was not created by sociologists. Sociologists study what's there. It was created by God. It's a whole institution that was created before sin entered. It's not a product and a byproduct of sin. Now, I'm saying we need to unpack that. Let me quickly do that quickly. All right. Okay, so we have submit and love. Of course, let's say there are a lot of misunderstanding on this submission. Let's leave it. Let's go to love. And I always say, the definition of submission is actually attached to the understanding of love. Now, if you understand what love is, you will not have a problem with submission. Now, let me just share something with you on submission. Submission is submit as it is in the Lord. But love is love like Christ did, to the point where you die for your partner. In other words, there is no partner that can submit and die because of submission. When there's a husband who loves and is willing to die.
Come on. Yes.
There's one person in marriage who has been instructed to die. It's the husband. And when we remove that obligation with the whole idea of egalitarianism, I have no problem with equality, but introduce sameness as equality. You know what happens? Then the husband will say, "It's your turn to die." In the same of sameness. Now you die. I'm not going to die. But if we don't accept that, no. And that's my bias. Whenever there's a couple, if you want to win, that's your role. But no first, be ready to die for this one.
Amen.
And when there's a person, that priest, that leader, that head, that servant leader, or ongati, ngoba ndiyi-leader ndihlamba inyawo uthi ngenxa ndiyi-leader ndiza kuhlamba inyawo. I-leader initiates, the wife responds.
Wow.
Now, I've always said, if you get into my house and you find my wife washing my feet, let me tell you something. Oh, mama, bafana bayenza into ezinjalo. Ngaphandle ba uyabethwa ngenduku ubeka igana. Akho mama phela sisikole inyawo zendoda esihlala.
Ngubani inyawo zendoda?
I'm serious. If ufike umama, my wife ehlamba inyawo zami, then you should ask yourself, yintoni lo tata ayenzi? Yena ubangela lo mama amhlamba inyawo. And I promise you, if you can understand that, ungathi zakuthandazela tata. Inkulu into yenzileyo, ingumangaliso kuba ungahlanjwa inyawo lo mama. Are you following me? The honest restaurants, I say, and I'd go to pega, but I try and do my best. When there's this concept of love, you can't say, I'm coming closer to us. You can't. You know, when you love your wife, you even say, honey, can we get sick? You be a good time. You know, so okay, honey, can we get sick? That's washing machine. That's the dishwasher. They didn't get that one. That's the dishwasher. So I'm fucking chimneys. What time, Papa? My fellow buyers, the technology stuff now, baby, about music. Nothing can even know ends and later. Nobody else will depends on colors. What told me for that baby Zala, the same time about organizing jail. Until you're about Kuzala without pain. And Kuzala without being pregnant. All right. Because once I've been pregnant, you can imagine 9 months of pregnant. I was Nala Polo, I was with Tina, I was I'm my friends or whatever else. Next time my body plan, I'm better plan that starts. I don't think I can be pregnant. Let me just connect with what Bishop said, which is very powerful, by the way. How do we do this? How do we do this love submission thing? It's amazing. I mean, the head. If you look at the head, that's the source. Everything that runs in the body emanates from the body, from the head. The head wants to see every. I mean, as parents want to see your children getting more educated than you are, unless there's something wrong with you, but the head wants to facilitate growth. You open avenues for the growth of your wife. That's the function of the head. You know, when my wife has a PhD and I have masters, I'm a good head. I've facilitated the growth. That's what heads do, and they revel, they enjoy doing. That's the function of heads. And you can get in and out of these heads. But let me just mention one or two things. Often touched on it. How do you do this? How do you prevent wives from being docile carpets as in their understanding of submission, and from these ones being like opposite and stuff like that? This is how we do it. And we maintain our individuality in marriage. In marriage, I mashed potato. Amazamba namabini asembizeni. I mashed potato. I get in there, I can tell nguwelo. In marriage, there are two lines, circles. They never interact. They touch each other. Paul actually, that faith passage calls it a mystery of oneness, helping us to understand how to realize this concept of love and respect. What is a mystery of oneness in the sense that it's 1 plus 1 equals 1. It's mystery. It's 1. 1 means full plus full equals full. Wow. Now the whole Greek concept here, better half, is dangerous because it's eating half, and then when we half is on quality, that's dangerous because now you can't exist. Half means incomplete. Half means there's something wrong. Half means you are waiting for somebody. Half means you are at the bus stop. She's living a full life. Are we together? So now you have a better half. There's no better half here. A half plus half in this mysterious occasion. Half plus half equals 2 halves. So une-half ezimbini ngoku. Because akekho umuntu uzakugcwalisa. Uzawuhlalela half. Do you know, beloved, that the shameful thing, the painful thing is that then in abantu nizi half nobabili. In other words, uyabona ukuthi u-half kwaloo nto zichaze bazi half nobabili. Lade half ngabantwana. Ngabantwana bobabili. So ucembe uzothi umntana nomntana bengumuntu omdala. Umntana nomntana ngabantwana ababili. Umntana nomntana ngabantwana ababili. Akho umntana nomntana bengumuntu omdala. I thought that was very simple. All right, but it's not in real life. It's not. So now babe nabantwana bazala abantwana, and they hope ukuthi abantwana bazabenza beba ngabantu. So they hope ukuthi abantwana bazabagcwalisa. So they bring kids so that kids. Do you know why abantwana bazala abantwana bethu? Funeka bazoqeqeshwa ngabazomakhulu, because abantwana bethu abakwazi ukuqeqesha abantwana, because abantwana bethu baxhomekeke ebantwaneni for their humanity, for the essence of their being. You can't say no to a person who fulfills you and makes you. You can't say you can't do that. Because I mean it's very interesting. But there's this thing like it's getting to a point where abakwazi uchata abantwana and set up their families because umama uhamba nabo. Even if uhamba nabo because you feel like it's called falsification. It's true, it's scientific, it's called falsification, where the mother actually feels ukuthi umuntu ochate nomntana wakhe, it's like divorce umntana wakhe kuye because yena relationship yakhe nomntana wakhe is like umtshato, especially on these single parents. You see, the single parents bring up kids, and that's a lot. Umfana okhulayo afundise sister no brother asupporte no mama avele bengutata, and then kufike uziyana avela abe competitor, abe rival. Uziyanda uzothatha umyeni wami ngumntana. Let me give you a live one. So they get married, they come to me and say, "Fundis, we have a problem. That's it." And here's the story. Galamini kuchatwa ngayo ebephuma yabona musimoto eze nomyeni nemoto zenkosikazi kubabuye bokhole emotweni nasi bafika umama ehle ngesemva sithi nehlela equmbile. Uzohlala ngapho umyeni ahlala ngapho akayindawo the. Do you know what happened with that couple? They divorced. Mama second. When they come to me like that, I'm serious. You can't help her. You can't. She doesn't need help. He doesn't need help. Mastanda zen, appeal. I think Mastanda is a solid. Appeal. But here's the point. That makes this oneness very difficult. You can't be one with your husband when you're still under still attached to the apron of your mother. You can't. It's difficult. That oneness is a process. You become one. You become one. It has started. You can have only couple. Let's say Dali Chati, but by fun. Nezimbo. Will become one, but that thing does not happen if you are still attached to your parents. And you are attached to your parents because you are kids. Child is for matured things. Do you know when God created Adam, there was no Eve for a purpose? When God created animals, cows, it was simultaneous, a female and a male, But when He created men, that was not the case. It was on purpose. When God does things, it's on purpose, it's on point.